very warm welcome to Mining Review Africa, and we are coming to you from DRC Mining Week 2024. Good day, ma'am. Please introduce yourself and tell us which organization you represent.
My name is Kerstin Karlström, and I'm the Deputy Head of Mission at the Swedish Embassy in Kinshasa.
Okay, well, welcome to Mining Review Africa. Now, Kerstin, Sweden is a leading mining country in the EU and also has a reputation of being very sustainable. How does that country's experience benefit the DRC mining sector?
Thank you for this question, and thank you for having us today. I think it's important to note that Sweden has over 600 years of experience in the mining sector. So the sustainable mining technologies that we use today have evolved over time. And one has to always keep in mind that each country context and legal and regulatory framework is different. But with that said, I think in the context of the DRC, many of our private sector industries that have been the lead in developing these technologies are present here and bringing with them these centuries of experience to work on such things as reducing the environmental impact.
Okay, now we'll touch on the technology and the innovation a little later, but what specific areas of Swedish mining expertise are most relevant to this thriving DRC mining sector?
I think I would highlight three different areas, one being environmental sustainability and how we manage the impact to minimize the negative impact that the mining industry has in ways of pollution primarily, but you can also talk about how to manage post-mining situations, which is an area that Sweden has a lot of expertise in. We can also here talk about safety and worker rights, for example, where the automation industry has actually come in and developed ways of doing underground mining in a digitalized and automized and robotic way, which makes the environment safer for the workers.
Okay. Now, earlier you mentioned technology and innovation, and Sweden is definitely one of the leading countries in the world when it comes to that. What mining technologies and solutions could have a significant impact on the DRC mining sector?
Well, I've already mentioned automation and robotics, so I won't go into that again. But we will also have digital solutions in way of mapping and understanding what the geological context is like to understand where to best mine. Again, linking back to having minimal impact on the environment by knowing and being more precise on where to focus the interventions.
Now, Kerstin, leveraging on 600 years of mining experience in Sweden, are there any successful case studies in that country that could serve as models for the DRC?
I think the mining that is done in Kiruna in Sweden is a great example of how this environmental impact aspect has to be taken into consideration, and how we learn as we go, how we start to mine, where we find the resources we're looking for, and then realize that it's not sustainable for the population. In Kiruna, we've had to move in a systematic way, house by house, to preserve actually the safety of the community while the mining continues, so that the safety and the extraction can happen side by side. I would also mention some of the work that Sweden has done in our mines with regard to tailing management, actually, what do we do after post-extraction.
Okay. Now, Kerstin, as you know, the major theme at DRC Mining Week this year is on sustainability and also local transformation. Now, let's look at Sweden's experience in developing and implementing strong mining laws and regulations that can promote local transformation and sustainability. How can your approach to good governance benefit the mining sector in the DRC?
I think when we talk about good governance, transparency is the one Swedish governance value that automatically comes to mind, and the work that the Swedish government and the mining industry jointly have done to actually increase this transparency, and the Public Information Act that actually obliges everyone to make public information around mining contracts, for example, and through this transparency, we actually then give the possibility of all actors to become an inclusive part of the process.
Okay. Now, you just mentioned inclusivity. Now, that's also an important part, especially when it comes to building sustainable communities. So how can Sweden, as well as your country's companies, contribute to sustainable community development that will benefit everyone in the DRC?
So in the DRC, the development cooperation has been present for a very long time, alongside our economic cooperation with the country. And through our development cooperation, we work a lot on governance issues. We work at a national level, but also at local, provincial, and community levels on increasing the community participation, stakeholder participation in the development of the industry, but more importantly, how income from the industry and the revenue that is being generated can actually be reinvested in the development of these communities. And we try to bring the private sector industrial aspects closer to the governance aspects to ensure that the population benefits.
Okay. Now, no doubt, obviously, the Swedish government and Swedish companies have already made an impact in the DRC. But let's look at the future. What promising avenues do you see for future collaboration? And most importantly, how does this contribute to a more responsible and sustainable DRC mining sector?
I think for us, the biggest question is really to bring the two sides together. Our large Swedish mining industry has already been present, bringing with it the innovation and technology that we've developed over centuries. The development cooperation has been present also over decades, bringing with us our experience in governance structures, building transparency, regulatory frameworks. And for us, the future is now to bring these two closer together and to work jointly on contributing to the development of the DRC and ensuring that the richness brought to the country by the mining industry actually falls to the population and to the development of their country.
Okay. Well, Kerstin, thank you very much for joining us on Mining Review Africa today. And thank you for Sweden's contribution to the DRC mining sector.
Thank you very much for having us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.